Hi guys, so this week we will be doing a fun project where we are making a picture of a coral reef. So last week we did our project with texture, and we're going to keep doing projects with texture for the next two projects. So this one today, you're going to kind of learn about the texture of coral. And I don't know if you guys have ever felt pieces of coral before or seen a coral reef in person on maybe a vacation or something, but coral has a lot of texture. It's bumpy, it can be spiky, it can be really rough. And so we're gonna show kind of what a texture of coral could be like today. So I know in science the other week, you guys also got to study coral, and in your book it mentions the Great Barrier Reef, which is the largest coral reef. And so before we started, I just thought I would show you guys some pictures, because I actually went snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef a couple years ago. So I thought I would just show you a couple pictures to show you some different kinds of coral. So here we go, we got this one. As you guys can see, we got little wavy coral. It's kind of bumpy or spiky. There's some fish in there. Then here's a picture actually of me under the water. I went with one of my friends, but you guys can see there's all the reefs. They're kind of shallow, not too far under the water. Then here's another one underwater that shows kind of all the different textures. You guys can see these like wavy ones I really like. All here, and you can like swim in between all of this. And then here's the last little picture just to show you kind of how big almost all of that reef is. Like there's a huge, huge wall right here of coral that comes up. So getting to travel there and learn about that was super cool. And I thought hopefully those pictures can help inspire you guys a little bit. So for our project today, all you're gonna need is this paper. It's a printout of coral, and it should be taped to this really nice piece of white paper. And then I gave you guys 2 thumbtacks. I know about the thumbtacks, guys. Remember, these are really pointy, right? Ow. So we want to be very, very careful with them, especially you younger kids. I trust you guys to use these, but also remember, just be careful. They're a tool, you want to respect them. Yeah, and just be gentle with them. So I'm going to use also under my piece is, you guys can get some cardboard, or I'm just using an old package to put under here. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be poking through our paper with our thumbtack. And when you poke through, I just want it to hit this stuff instead of like a table or something that you're on. So it's a good idea to keep something like this under your paper. So this project is really simple. It's gonna take some patience. So basically what you guys are going to be doing is we're gonna be poking holes to draw our coral reef. So in our sketchbooks, I don't know if you guys remembered one time, but we did this thing called stippling. And it's a way we create value. So I don't know if you guys remember, so I'm gonna show you in this sketchbook. We did this thing called stippling, where you do lots and lots of dots to kind of like fill in a space. Right, you guys remember, if I do lots of dots close together, it makes something darker. And if I do them farther apart, it's like things colored in lighter. So we're kind of gonna do that same thing, stippling, but we're doing it with our thumbtack on this paper by poking holes. But it's kind of like the same as just drawing dots. We're just poking holes. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna trace first the outline of our whole coral using our thumbtack, and then you guys can do some more details. As you guys can tell, this coral picture I printed out has like some spots and stuff on it, or there's like edges that are darker than others. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so you guys can see, oops, now you guys can see where I poked holes all along the outline, or at least on this part. And it's pretty easy. And if, remember, we want to keep this taped here until we're all done. Then if I look, it's all the way poked through. But for our actual final piece, what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip over your paper. And now if you feel it, you can feel all of this bumpy texture of all the holes you poked. So I'm gonna do a little bit more and then show you guys what it looks like. Okay guys, so I poked some more holes and then I'll show you guys what it looks like on the back. You guys can always flip it over to check your progress. So on my picture, I noticed that there's a little bit darker red right here and darker red right here. So wherever the picture was a little bit darker, I know your guys is in black and white, so wherever you see the parts that are darker, I tried to do a lot of holes to kind of show where it's darker. So in here you can see I started to put a lot of holes right here and then a lot right here. To make some more texture and kind of almost like a shading on my coral. So it's pretty simple. That's all you do until you got your whole picture done, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm all finished. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of an update. I just finished tracing the outline of all the coral on this side, and so maybe if you're a younger kid, if you want to stop there, you can. I know it takes a long time, so definitely requires some patience. You can do this over a couple days if that's helpful for you. But then if you're an older kid, I would suggest also trying to do some of the shading. So some of the parts where it's darker, trying to do a little bit more holes and a little bit more of the stippling, like we did down here. And then I'll show you guys an update again of that in a little bit. Great job though. So guys, you can see I started to give it a little more texture, kind of all over the place, but that's pretty much it. You guys can do as much more as you want, but it's kind of fun because afterwards you can feel it and it feels kind of bumpy and rough, which is pretty similar to how coral would feel in the ocean. So yeah, and then once you guys are all done, you can very, very carefully untape the top piece from it. Oops. And then you have your nice coral picture. Hang it up somewhere or something, or you can always try to do this with other kinds of pictures too if you wanted to make one. But that's it. Great job, guys.